Hello, Suitonia here. Today I wanted to make a quick video on an upcoming implant set on the test server, the Kostenadza implant set. I'll just call them Adzas because it's much easier to say. Just a quick note, remember that these are on the test server, so the numbers could be completely changed. They seem very reasonable to me right now though, so I think CCP are unlikely to modify them drastically. Where and how they will be obtained is completely unknown right now. Presumably they will drop from the existing Triglavian invasions or some new Triglavian related event that CCP is planning. So what do Adzas actually do? Well, they increase your maximum damage multiplier on the Triglavian disintegrator weapons. However, they also decrease the bonus damage you gain every cycle. This means that you have higher ramp DPS, but it also takes much longer to reach max damage. The full set bonus will give you an almost 48% potential DPS increase, which is huge. However, you will also take more than twice as long to reach your max DPS. Let's take a look at some fits and damage graphs in Python and see how effective they are, and how long it takes for the trade-off of the implant set to be worth it. So here I just have the standard Volta Kikimora fit we use in Stuka fleets, which is where I think this implant set may see its highest impact. It's pretty easy to get mega excited about how much damage you can potentially do, but let's take a reality check and look at some actual good graphs. So here is a side-by-side comparison between the Stuka fleet Kikimora with and without the Adza implant set. Python recently has updated its graph functionality and it's super awesome. What we are looking at is a graph which shows total damage done over time. The red line is the standard Kikimora, and the green line is the Kikimora with the implant set. What you can see on this graph is that it will take 2 minutes almost for the implant Kikimora to be able to overtake the standard Kikimora without any implants in damage. This means that this is great for Stukas shooting capitals or shooting structures or large targets that take a long time to kill. However, in smaller gang situations or solo PvP such as in factional warfare or nullsec roaming, the implant set will actually probably hurt you more than it's going to help you. Here is another example. This time I'm using a similar comparison with a Ikirtsa instead. Both fits are identical and they're using 2 heatsinks each. And you can see that it will take well over 6 minutes for an Asda Ikirtsa to overtake an Ikirtsa without any implants. So this shows you the potential drawbacks of the implants. The Leshak does quite a bit better thanks to the rate of fire bonus it has. It'll still take nearly 3 minutes for it to outtrade a standard Leshak. However, this actually seems quite reasonable for the targets that Leshaks usually shoot, like structures and capital ships and wormholes. A Leshak with Asdas can almost reach the damage cap on a Rotaru just by itself, which is quite handy. It's also worth mentioning that there is another cost to using this implant set that is often ignored by people who circle jerk over them on places like the EVE subreddit, and that is opportunity cost. It's important to realize that by using Asdas, you are giving up another implant set. For example, Kikimoras can benefit a lot from snake implants. Ikis in the abyssal PvP rooms would really like to take advantage of Asclepians or another tanking bonus set. And you can make a similar argument for Leshaks and slave implants too. Not only do you need to consider the potential problem of Asdas making your ship worse if you can't keep damage up on a single target for a longer duration, but you're also missing out on another implant set. It's also worth mentioning that unlike the other sets like snakes and slave implants for example, you don't actually get any benefits on a non-Triglavian ship with this implant set as well. So it's a lot more niche and more likely to be a specific jump clone that you use a few times in specific situations rather than a catch-all, always useful PvP implant set. Overall, I actually like the design of this implant set a lot. I think having implants that make you potentially change how a ship line functions and actually has drawbacks is great game design. CCP has done this before with the drone implants, but not to this extent, and I think it allows them to potentially make sets in the future that could be more fun. For example, they could have a laser damage implant set that reduces rate of fire and also increases the cap cost of your guns, so you would get a lot more DPS from your lasers, but it would also make them drastically consume much more capacitor, so to be able to sustain them you would probably need to have things like remote energy transfers or just like really ridiculous like cap injector fits, etc., and they wouldn't really last a long time, and I think that would be pretty cool. So Adstas are really cool, however they're gonna be more niche and a lot more limited than what most people are expecting though. I think the main scenarios in which this implant set is going to shine is going to be with Stuka Kikimoras, structure bashing Leshaks, as well as anti-cap / whaling Leshaks in wormholes. This set benefits wormholers and small gangs the most in my opinion. When you're limited by how many individual players you can bring, or limited by wormhole mass mechanics, every little bit of potential DPS you can bring through the wormhole is going to mean a lot. This set indirectly also means that faxes will be a little easier to deal with for the prepared wormhole group, and making structure bashes less awful is always welcome. So, thanks CCP, very cool.